Hello, I'm AJ.
I'm Alex.
This is NTVN New Tech Vintage Nerds. Today we have something special. Alex told us about this last time. And we got a guest at the table. Please introduce yourself very shortly because we talk a lot.
Yeah, sure. Hi guys, I'm Vikash. And glad to be here, share some thoughts with you guys about tech.
Nice.
And we have a lot of thoughts.
I'm sure you guys do.
Well, today we're going to talk to Vikash. But first, Alex, what did you automate this week?
Well, actually, I fixed my automation. My Sonos speakers suddenly decided they didn't want to cooperate anymore. So that was a bummer. For those who do not know or haven't heard the episode, I've got quite a few Sonos speakers, and they are very well automated to run music throughout the day, different radio stations, different sorts of music, in different rooms of the house where we are, or mostly I am, throughout the day. And that suddenly stopped, so it became very quiet in the house. I still don't know why it happened. It took me 3 days to figure out, or at least to convince the Sonos speakers to actually cooperate again. And then I had to review all my automations and actually re-add all the speakers, replace the previous ones that weren't visible anymore. And reintroduce the new ones. So fortunately, I didn't have to recreate all the automations because specifically the house music automation is fairly complicated and fairly extensive. But yeah, it was not funny. But it thankfully now it all works again.
Oh, cool.
Well, I have to get some tips from you, Alex, about automating music in house, because the way we are doing it here is we have the primary stereo, so to speak, that's in our living room, right? Because there's the television as well. And then throughout the house, we want to listen to music as well. Then what happens is my wife asks me to, how are we going to fix it? Are we going to get some speakers, some Bluetooth speakers, etc., etc.? In the end, we just end up turning on our iPhones if we are somewhere else besides in the living room, right? And then every time we do it, I have a mental note for myself. This is not the way to enjoy audio because it's a crappy speaker, right? But yeah, it happens all the time, man. Still does.
Yeah, I'm happy to share the flow, but that there is a slight problem we get with that because you two are Home Assistant users and I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, I have connected my AirPod. What is it? That's the Apple HomePod speaker, right? That's the HomePod indeed, the HomePod Mini. We do have it because I have set it up to play some audio or some indication if the alarm system is arming or something like that. So it is connected to Home Assistant and it's working quite well, actually. So maybe that's something I can use to deploy it throughout my house, yeah.
I know that there are, specifically with the iPod Mini, which is not such a huge investment, it's quite easy to actually create music throughout the house, and the quality of the speaker isn't too bad. So
it's fairly okay.
It's definitely enjoyable. Yeah, it's not like the original HomePod, but then again, that thing is, I don't know, €600 or something like that. It's far too expensive to just do, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because the reason I added that HomePod Mini is before I started out with the Home Assistant, I had a Homey Pro. That's the spherical shaped one from Atom, and it was working very fine. And I had set it up to make some noises from BB-8, the robot from Star Wars, right? So because those noises are very cute. And then I had set it up with automations, like when the shades are opening or closing. And we all enjoyed the noises, actually. My wife was, it's very cute. So now then we switched over to Home Assistant. It didn't have any noise or speaker. And then my wife was a little bit grumpy. Yeah, I don't want Home Assistant. It's not working because it's not cute. Then I had to add a speaker. And now it's making noises again. So, yeah. So the wife acceptance factor, right? That's very important.
Yeah.
I still have a Homey. I have the 2023 model. I actually started off with the spherical one over 8 years ago. I think that's quite. I've had it for quite a bit.
Yeah, that's one of the first models they had. They had a few revisions within that model, and I had one of the last revisions. It was working quite well, but then I hit the limit of the Zigbee networking in there. I was up to 50 plus devices and started getting some weird behavior with my Zigbee devices. That's when that was the tipping point for me to switch over to Home Assistant with a dedicated Zigbee USB stick. Yeah.
In the new version, it's better. The 2023, the limit isn't 50 anymore, but the reach of the network is still could be better.
Mm-hmm.
But in comparison to the spherical Pro, the new 2023 Pro is it's significantly better. Let's put it like that.
All right. Wow. Yeah.
But I love the interface, specifically the way you set up flows.
Exactly.
That's just amazing. So I have no plans of moving off it. But I do run a Home Assistant instance to do some stuff that Homey does not do well or cannot do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, well, actually, of course, the limit of that 50 device, that was one of the things. The other thing was I have a lot of Philips Hue lights in my house, right? So Philips Hue motion sensors and then switches as well. And the way to integrate that with Homey or Homey Pro was to have the hub from Philips Hue talk to Homey. The thing is, if you do that, there is a slight delay when one of the motion sensors of Philips Hue detects a motion. It then talks to the Philips Hue hub, and then the hub, it needs to trigger it. And so you catch my drift. So when we walk into a room and I want to set up a automation based on motion, there is a delay of a few seconds before the light turn on. So then I started to test out the Home Assistant setup, and I paired some of the Philips Hue motion sensors directly to Home Assistant, and that was an instant response.
Yeah.
So that's much nicer.
That still is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using Z-Wave motion sensors in my house, so I don't have that problem as such. But I also own a couple of outdoor Hue motion sensors, and they have that same delay. For outdoors, I don't really mind.
Yeah,
it's not really an issue as long as the lights come on. They see you from pretty far away.
Exactly.
So that's for outdoor, it's okay. But inside the house, I can imagine that it's fairly annoying. Like I said, I'm using Z-Wave, so it's not a problem then.
No, indeed. And Z-Wave, it has a better reach, right? In the range is a lot better than Zigbee. I also have a few of those outdoor Philips Hue motion sensors. That's the black ones, right? The large black ones, yes. And I've set up with Home Assistant, and the response is instant as well. So that's very nice, because I'm using it to detect the outdoor light, and I'm sure you're doing the same, detect how many lux there is outdoors and to turn on the light indoors. Because the first thing, and that was one of the first errors, but that's something you learn while setting it up. In the beginning, I've set up one of those sensors, those light sensors indoors, right? So I can see how much light there is indoors, and based on that, I can turn on the lights. And then I have a light for, in the beginning of the evening, I want a different color. And then later at night, I want another color. But the thing is that the first automation works perfectly fine because it turns on the lights in house. But then that detector, that sensor, it sees, okay, I won't reach the threshold again, right? Because the light, there's already, right. So you catch my drift. So the second stage automation, it was getting later in the night, and I was wondering, why are my lights not changing color?
When is it kicking in?
Yes,
right?
exactly. So that's one of the first things I learned. Don't put a light sensor in the same room you're trying to do some automation stuff. Yeah.
or time it.
Or time it, indeed. Yes. That was the other option, indeed. Yeah. And Homey does have, but Home Assistant as well. They have very nice integrations with a sunset and a sun up threshold, and then you can do an offset in that. So that's working very nicely. Yeah.
I
use that as well.
Yeah, good stuff,
and
man.
I also I also combined it with a outdoor motion sensor. It's just lying on the grass.
Mm-hmm.
I still have to do something else, but anyway,
you would say.
No, but that also don't shake your head. That's the one that's measuring light. Although that sensor is going away, I purchased a EcoWid weather station.
Mm-hmm.
Link below to the previous episode we were talking about it.
Okay.
As soon as I published it. And that one is measuring also light intensity. So there's that one is going to be up on a pole. I already got the pole hanging.
Mm-hmm.
I just received the outdoor specific power supply because it also does some heating when it gets frost over.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's going up above the bushes and the trees so that it measures all the light, because the house was in the way of the sensor.
Right.
There was shadow being cast on the sensor.
Exactly.
That's nasty. I didn't want that. So it's on a pole.
Yeah.
You need a separate power supply for that?
You don't need it. The EcoWid can run on batteries, and there's also a capacitor in it with solar panels. In the winter time, it can be that the capacitor is running out, well as when you put it up on a pole, it might get colder and then it freezes over.
Exactly. Yes.
And because of that, there's a heating element in it, and that one needs a power supply.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So, with that being said,
what did you 3D print?
I didn't 3D print, and I didn't automate anything. Well, no. When we're talking about 3D printing, I automated some stuff, and I printed a lot of stuff. I printed a what's it called? A demo platform based on a lazy Susan that turns around when you can photograph items that you put on top of it.
Yeah, it's a sort of display platter that automatically, and you can put you can put the object on it, and then it will automatically turn on.
Yes, those are very nice. Yes.
Yeah, and obviously I printed Gridfinity stuff every week, every time.
Every week. Gridfinity is a sort of a disease.
Yeah. Vikash, do you do any 3D printing?
No, actually, I don't do 3D printing. I don't own a 3D printer because I'm trying every year. I'm looking at the Black Friday deals, right? Because that is a very good time to buy one of those printers. And then every time I'm trying to justify buying one. But I can't come up with enough scenarios that I will buy one. I'm sure that if I get it, there will be enough things I can come up with to actually print, because then you have it and then you are compelled to use it, right?
We can provide you with a list.
This is a very bad place.
Right, yeah, okay. Yeah. Right, so
for something simple as I want to organize my desk, you print your own stuff.
Yeah, that's very nice, actually.
I mean, if you want to, I don't know, have a tissue wipe, I mean, you can print your own stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one thing, right? Because the last time I was considering actually buying one is I bought new speakers, tower speakers for my home stereo. And then they have spikes at the bottom, and then you place it on the floor. But they didn't deliver those small plates beneath the spike, so it doesn't damage your floor. So I was thinking, this is the moment that if I would have a 3D printer, I could have printed those small plates myself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. So actually what I did is I went to Amazon and then just ordered the metal ones. So that's fine. But that's one of the cases, right? And then indeed organizing stuff or printing some brackets for like not so long ago. I was setting up my Unraid server, and then I had a lot of hard disks I wanted to fit in there, because the reason to have an Unraid server is you can use any type of disks, just put it in there. And then I was missing some of the brackets to mount extra hard drives in my case. That would be also a very good use case too. So I am getting there, and I hope that this Black Friday, actually, I will be buying one. And I'm then there are two printers. One is the Bamboo, right? That's one of the popular ones, I suppose. And then there is another one which is printing upside down. I recently saw some videos. It's print.
That is a resin printer, probably.
I don't know what kind, but it was printing upside. It attaches the your object upside down on the plate, and then it prints it to the ground. Actually,
So resin printers do that.
okay.
I don't know if there are any FDM printers that do that. So FDM is the filament one, with the rolls of plastic.
It was a filament one, I'm sure. Yeah,
I haven't seen that one.
Upside
the
down.
upside
supporters
down.
print-
It can print upside down, and it is very portable as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So
we are quite a big fan of the Bambulabs one. Actually, I bought one, and then
and he made me buy one as well.
right, and then you got the bug.
I didn't force you to buy it.
No, that's true. Yeah, but it's like the whole discussion about operating systems on your mobile phone.
Sure.
The one, you can do everything, you can tinker with it, and you have to tinker with it. The other one, it just works. And that's with printers as well. You buy a 3D printer to tinker with it, or you do want the output of the printer. And
Yeah.
one of those things, you cannot buy a printer saying, I want to tinker with it to the extreme, and still expect that you can put out a print. Like, now I want to print something, 15 minutes later you got something. That's not going to work.
Yeah, I always compare that to car lovers. You've got the car lover that loves the tech, and likes to get his hands dirty and get under the hood and unmount the motor and take it all apart and then polish all the parts and then put it all together again, and they enjoy that process. And then you have the car lover that just loves to drive,
Exactly.
loves to sit in the car, make miles, enjoy the scenery from the car, enjoy the ride in the car, enjoy the humming of the car, whatever.
Yeah.
Those are two different people. They are both car lovers.
Exactly.
But they are different people. And with 3D printers, it's the same thing. You either have people who love to print stuff and just like to design. I'm one of those people. I like to design stuff and then solve problems in my house, and then 3D print the solution and enjoy the solution, right?
Sure.
And you've got people who just love to tinker with the printer, and if I can replace that servo, and then it can do, I don't know, upside down printing, and then I'd like to tinker with the hot end, and now it can print the 20 times the speed, la-di-da-di-da. In the end, 9 times out of 10, that printer isn't ready to actually print.
Exactly.
Or 90% of the prints they print are for the printer.
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose I would be the one that in the beginning I would like to tinker with it, because I know that's the way to get the maximum experience or the best products printed on it. So I would like to to tinker in the beginning, but after a while it should be doing what it's for.
Yeah.
Right, because then it's time for me to move on to other projects. I don't like to keep coming back to the same thing over and over again. For a specific time in the beginning, that's fine, because that's the way most of the IT stuff works, what we play with, like automation as well. It's nice to tinker, but at the end of the day, the lights in the house, they need to be able to turn on and off, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you have a problem.
Or you have a big problem, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Your wife acceptance factor is diminishing rapidly.
Yeah, and besides the wife, my own acceptance factor is diminishing rapidly. Then, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, in that perspective, so the advantage of the Bambulabs is, it's the Apple amongst 3D printers.
Okay.
I'd say maybe it's a bad comparison, but you turn it on, you put it on the roller filament, and it just works.
Yeah, and
right? You don't have to bother with the technology. It's good if you know a bit, but really, it's just put on the roll of plastic and go for it.
Yeah.
Whereas you can buy a Voron, and then when you get that delivered, you get a box with parts.
Yeah.
And it's up to you to build it and tune it and make sure that you made it completely square, because otherwise all your prints will have an offset. And it's up to you to mount all the different parts. And if you do it slightly wrong, then you ruin one of the rods or whatever.
Exactly.
That's how I got started.
Exactly, and that's what I did. I bought an Ender 3 at Black Friday for I think 120 euros on Amazon, and that was my very first 3D printer. And I learned a lot from it, but after about 6 months, it got very frustrating.
Yeah, yeah.
It just
every time I actually wanted to print something, first of all, it was dead slow, and second, 9 out of 10 times it just made a mess. And you had a plate full of spaghetti or whatever, and that was not what I was aiming for.
Exactly. Yes. Right? Yeah.
So that's why I bought the Bamboo.
Yeah, exactly. Because I would be then looking in the auto leveling of the print bed, etc., etc. Right? Those are very important things from what I've seen. So that's another thing with me. If I buy something tech related, or if I get into stuff tech related, the first thing I'm looking for in there is the auto button. Does it have a auto button or not? Can it do stuff on itself or not?
Yeah, I call that idiot mode. Does it have idiot mode? Because I'm an idiot.
Well, yeah, exactly. We are doing the zero effort networking, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's the my approach in getting tech stuff, and I get tech stuff actually. So what I've done now is we have several ACs installed in the house, right? Because the summers here in the Netherlands are getting warmer and warmer, and AC is giving much comfort. So there is an auto button on the AC as well, right? So then my wife, when we first met, when she would turn on an AC, she would put it on cold, and then set up the temperature, and then set up the fan speed. Okay. And then if it would get too hot, then she would up the fan speed, and too cold, she would lower it. Right. So, and I was like, just press the auto button and tell it that to keep that temperature, and it's doing fine. In the car as well, there is an auto button on the climate control. All right. So then we are together like now more than 10 years. And then I was sitting in her car not so long ago, and then I was tinkering with the AC, and then she said, no, you should just hit the auto button. And she was not thinking about it, right? It was just an automatic reflex from her. No, just hit the auto button and it will do what you expect it to do. And I was like shocked. I was like, wow. Amazing. Yes, the auto button is very important.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
We're already 20 minutes in, and we haven't touched one of our topics we wanted to talk about. Alex had something about digitizing VHS, and I wanted to know more, Vikash, about your YouTube journey, because for the folks that don't know, Vikash creates a lot of great videos about IT stuff. So we're going to talk about that first. But first, I want to know, Alex, you showed me a box earlier on digitizing a VHS. And for those from this century, VHS was an old format for video way before YouTube.
That's a very large cassette, yes.
Yeah.
So, actually, this came up just because my wife actually was in conversation with a couple of her old schoolmates from before, and they were talking about, we had this and that performance, and she said, I still have a videotape from that. Oh, really? Yeah. Can you send me that? Well, it's still tape, right? How do I share that? So fortunately, I still had an old VCR lying around. But how do you get that into a computer? I tried that in the past, and you had these digitizers with USB. Usually, the results are I think crap is still a compliment. That it was the colors were off, the timing was off, it was generally meh. So I dove into that a bit, and actually, the thing is that there are two ways to approach that, right? You can go down the rabbit hole and buy the professional VCR and the professional digitizer and the professional yada 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 yada. And if you want to make it your job to digitize VHS tapes, hey, wonderful! You can spend I don't know, 2,000-3,000 euros, and then right, the result will probably be amazing.
Yeah.
But if you are just a schmuck like me, you don't want to spend 1,000 euros on some digitizing shit. So after a bit of Googling and diving into it, the solution is actually bloody simple. What you need is what actually is on every TV, and they sell that in a separate box as well. And that is, let me unplug it here for a second. That is this video converter, and what that does is it basically takes your analog input. It can also can also take HDMI, but it can take your analog input and it will put it out in HDMI, and it will put this out. It will do the conversion from the analog signal. It will upscale it to either 720p or 1080p. It will include the sound as well, and it will send it out through the HDMI.
Wow.
But that is just one part of the solution. So you would use this little box. For instance, if you would, I don't know, if you would connect your old, if you have an old Nintendo Wii or an old PlayStation to link it up to a modern television, you would use this box. It also has a coaxial. So it's
Okay.
This thing will set you back 40 euros.
Wow.
Nice.
Right? But then you only have the signal. So you have the signal in a digital format. So what you need then, and as a streamer, you should be familiar with that. You have a capture box.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this thing is from Ugreen, which is pretty good. This will set you back another 40 euros. And that is it. And that's all you need.
Yeah, and obviously a recording software on your PC.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I digitized it with OBS.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
The USB output here, it can be used as a video source in OBS, and you just push record in OBS and you press play on the VCR, and there you go. That's it.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
That was everything to it.
And what about the quality then?
Well, that's the amazing thing, because that box does all the conversion.
Mm-hmm.
The quality is, I mean, it's still VHS, right?
Exactly,
So
yeah.
it will never look like a DVD or Blu-ray, but it's still fairly good.
All right.
It's definitely watchable. It's you can decide if you want to do it in 720p or 1080p, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I tried 1080p. The quality was amazing. Actually, it was the TV didn't have to scale.
Okay.
It was it. The colors were great. Excuse me. The timing was good. No flickering.
Yeah.
No nothing. It was really, really well done.
Okay, that's very good to know, because you had no issues with the audio going out of sync. All right.
Not at all.
Okay. Wow.
So 2 boxes, 80 euros in total, and you're done. And the thing is, if you go to, well, obviously that was the first go-to.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to some commercial one, some commercial digitizer, the thing is, this tape is a 240-minute tape.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a recording on here that just lasts an hour, they don't care. they will just charge you for the full 240 minutes that are on there, even if it's 90 minutes of snow.
Yeah, exactly, because that's the automation, the device they have. They just push in the tape, and out comes an SD card with a file on it. Yeah,
exactly. They put in the tape, and that's just it.
Exactly.
Right. So even when they tell you, we just charge you, I don't know, €1 a minute. So most of the times it's even less, right? So something around 30 or 40 cents a minute.
Sure, yeah.
But if you do it times 240,
yeah, it adds up. Yeah,
I have these boxes for free then.
yeah exactly. Yes.
Yeah. I'm looking at a price from one of the big vendors here. It's $22.50 for a digital copy of the tape, and $19.95 processing costs. So it's almost half of the set of boxes. So you need to do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, you need a time for it.
Well, seriously, take a good look at whatever they say in the terms and conditions, because they will tell you that is based on a 60-minute tape, and they will charge you the same amount again for every 60 minutes that you add to it. So if you give them a 240-minute tape, do the math.
Exactly. Then you're paying up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the part they never tell you. Like they say, it's only 20 euros for digitizing a tape. Yeah, 60-minute one.
Indeed.
And I don't have a 60-minute one.
Yeah, and it takes them 5 to 15 business days.
Also that, yeah, and this was done in the recording was 90 minutes, so it was done in 90 minutes.
Yeah. And then you have some processing time for yourself. But all in all, it's very doable.
I didn't really have to do a lot about it. I mean, afterwards, I looked at the file was roughly 8 gigs for 1.5 hours, which is, I mean, for 90 minutes of HD content, it's fine.
That's fine, yeah, I would say.
What I did do, and that was my decision. First of all, it was my decision to put it in full HD. I could have chosen 720p because the quality of VHS is not going to make any difference.
Yes.
The only advantage is your TV doesn't have to upscale.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Unless you have a 4K TV, because then it will have to upscale anyway, but, well, it doesn't matter. When I re-encoded it with Handbrake into H.265, because this is H.264, it went down to, I think, 5.5 gigs.
Right. Handbrake being a software encoder program for the folks out there. Yeah. Not hitting the handbrake on your car.
You can do that.
Of course, yes.
Good point. Yeah. I was under the assumption that people know what Handbrake was. Yeah. It's a video encoding software.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is actually freeware.
Yeah, it's freeware indeed, and it's very good for what it does. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So if you want to transcode a video format to something else, Handbrake is the tool of choice. So that was basically it, and now it's on a USB stick. It's shareable, and she sent it out. That was it.
Perfect. So then for the audio quality or the video quality, right? Because you're taking a analog signal that's from that VHS recorder you have, and you're converting it to digital. And there can be significant quality loss if you're using low quality cables, because for an analog system it can have a major impact on the quality. Yeah. So the advice is that hooking up your VCR to that box, to that capture box, or to that initial box where you can plug in the SCART, make sure that you're using actually good cables to get that analog video signal to the box. It can make a lot of difference. Once it's digital, it doesn't matter.
I have serious SCART cables.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, that's the ones that you can't bend with one hand.
No, they are fairly sturdy. So that is
from
definitely
the $5 box, but serious cable.
Yeah, and the thing is, and why did I pick this? Because there are a lot of digitizing gadgets. If you just look at Amazon, they type in digitized VHS, and you get all these $20 €20 USB plug and play thingies They're all based on you digitizing or with connecting your VCR with RCA plugs. So,
And that's the low quality that, because that
that is
sneaks in.
definitely
Yeah.
that's not good.
Yeah.
Second, the transcoding chip in these little USB things is generally fairly bad. So it usually misses the timing in the VHS signal, so in the analog signal, which means that your sound may be off,
Exactly.
Or if the sound is off, the colors of the picture will be bland.
Yes.
You may see flickering or striping. There may be some distortions in the picture. The overall sharpness generally tends to be, you when you look at it, it feels like the camera wasn't sharp.
Exactly. Yeah.
And with these two little boxes of €40 each, the quality is it's as sharp as you would expect.
Yeah, exactly. Because in the past I tried this using a USB stick, right? So that's exactly the way. Go onto Amazon and order one. But the thing is that USB stick, it's fairly small, and then there is a chip. It has to do all the processing. So what happened was, every time I got beyond 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and then the thing just overheated and shut down. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that too. Yeah, that too happens. Yeah.
So
even the ones that get I don't know 4 or 5,000 5-star reviews on Amazon, they still suck.
Yeah, and then you have to let it cool and restart it, and hopefully you get there and the timing is good. Yeah.
Yeah. So these two boxes, no issue whatsoever. Plug and play.
That's the way.
Didn't have to do any installing of drivers, nothing of the sort.
Wow.
It was just put in the plugs, plug it into my laptop, start OBS, add the video in, press record, press play on the VCR, and off we went.
Wow.
That was literally it.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to know more, Alex at ntvn.online. I'm just going to forward the mailbox to you then.
Indeed.
So from one video topic to the other, Vikash.
Yeah, sure. Well, let's talk about a little bit about my YouTube journey, right?
Yeah, I was just going to ask. You create videos. Why?
Well, why? Well, the first thing is I'm in tech, right? I've been in tech now for maybe 30 years, 25 years, yes. And
you're falling under the umbrella, what we call a vintage nerd.
Yeah, well, exactly. Now, so let's not get into that. But what I'm trying to say is, I've been dealing with tech a lot for a while now, and in the past, I was doing consulting as my daily job. So I started to create blogs, because for some things in tech, I had certain ideas of doing things, and I just wanted to get it out there, because I believe that someone else can benefit also from my insights. And one thing that I learned very early being in a tech community is we like to share, right? If I know something, I can help my fellow colleagues or my fellow community members with it. With my knowledge, we are happy to do so. And that's the way of building that community. So this is my way, or in that time, my way of giving back to the community was creating blogs. And those blogs are still up on my website in the traditional way, like writing it out, creating screenshots, and having a story in there, and then creating that blog. And then about 1.5 years ago, I took up the idea of, well, it was there are two sides to the story. The one is because I was getting a little bit lazy in writing, because you have to write a lot of text when you're doing a traditional blog, and then create the screenshots, and that process took me too long to finish. And I just wanted to have something quick and easy, but helpful and beneficial out there. And then I came up with the idea of doing YouTube, because I was not the only one doing it. A lot of people are doing it. I thought, well, this is maybe something I can do as well, and get my thoughts out in to the community. So 1.5 years ago, I started, and I'm doing it in the same setting as I'm doing the podcast now. During COVID, everyone was forced to work from home. So I started my setup then, testing some things out, putting up one of my first videos, getting back feedback, getting that feedback. How can I improve? Watching a lot of other YouTubers as well. How are they doing their lighting? How are they doing their tech? How are they recording their screen, for example? How do they create a lab? Because a lab environment is something, if you're in tech, you have a lab environment at home, right? So it was, that threshold was fairly easy. And that's the way I started with my channel.
Did you have any issues on really doing it? Because Alex and I, for those also in the tech sphere, we made some videos for VM Guru, and we blogged a lot about virtualization. And we did some videos. We did some interviews with vendors. We did some specific like a podcast kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that every time we started, it was, well, you put your face on a screen and you send it out. I mean, for our work, we do presentations for customers. That's not an issue. But now you record something, you put it on a screen, and everybody can see it. Not only your customer, but everybody.
Exactly.
Your wife, your brother-in-law, whatever. Did you have any issues with that?
No, I have no issues. Totally now, of course. Yeah. Now, of course, there are some things you think about, right? Indeed, because the internet never forgets. So when it's out there forever. It can be found in some Wayback Machine or something like that. So that is one of the things you have to consider. Do you want to immortalize, so to speak, yourself on the internet? All right. That's the first question you need to ask yourself. Then the other thing is, how do you weigh, or how do you make the decision that creating those videos and putting yourself on the internet is much more important than the reservations you have for being out there, right? So then you try to, or at least my process was, all right, let's do some dry takes, right? And let's get my setup working, and let's try, because English is not my native language, but I wanted to do it in English because I want to reach that broader audience. And then just did some dry runs, have some comments and feedback from friends and family to see how it would be perceived or how I can improve. And I'm still trying to learn every day how to improve. But yeah, then when you get the feedback, then you think, all right, this is something which can be very helpful for a lot of people. And that's when I finally decided, all right, now it's time to do it. I know what I'm going to do. I know what kind of videos I want to put out there, because that's also something you need to figure out, because everyone with a smartphone nowadays can record a video and put it on YouTube, right? That's not a challenge. You have to be clear for yourself. You have to have a strategy, what kind of videos you're going to create, what kind of content you're going to put out there, what is the audience you would like to reach, and how are you going to react on feedback, because you have positive feedback, you have positive comments, but there is a lot negativity out there as well, right? And you have to make sure that you are thick-skinned for that, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes the comments are not that friendly or not that supportive.
Yeah, man, I know. Yeah.
Happens.
It happens indeed. And well, at the end of the day, when you read those comments, which are fairly negative, then in my mind, I flip that switch. It's all in the game.
Yeah.
But I know that a lot of people, because a lot of friends and families who are then reading those same comments, they come back at me and say, "Yeah, I saw that comment, and how do you feel about that?" doesn't it bother you? I said, yeah, well, it's all in the game. There will haters will be haters, so to speak.
Yeah.
But the positive thing is that I still get a lot of feedback on improving. Actually, there was one of my videos in the beginning. I was doing the videos, and then I had an ending movie as well, right? So an outro, and that outro, it had some frequencies in there that were maybe not that nice. So then there was a guy who was following my channel, and he commented to me that I love your videos, I love the content you're putting out there, but can you do something about that outro video? That noise is very loud and is very hitting my. So I thought about it, and then I asked some other people around me, and then I switched it, right? Then I switched it and said, all right, this is very good feedback. This is something I can use. So then I switched it to just being a piece of the intro movie with the piano in the underscore. Well, that was something much appreciated then, not by the guy who pointed it out to me, but from others as well. So yeah.
Don't be afraid to change.
Exactly. Yes.
Definitely. So we did a like AJ just said, we've done some work-related topics in the past. We specifically decided for this channel we wouldn't do anything work-related. But I was just wondering, how do you pick your topics?
How do I pick my topics? Well, it's a combination of I like to tinker with tech and I like to tinker with software. I'm running a lot of applications at home because I'm a very big advocate of having self-hosted stuff, having stuff on a private infrastructure, not in the cloud. So that is my main drive of running a lot of applications at home. For example, my website is running at home as well, right? So from that, I get a lot of experience in how to set up things and run it privately, but also reliably. And that experience is my main input for choosing topics I do. Of course, I have topics in there for which are work related, but that is a field of interest for me as well, because that gives me insight how our customers are using the product. What are the things they're running into? Am I running into the same things? Can I replicate it? Can I fix it? And can I make someone happy? Here is the fix for that, right? So that is then also, if I'm doing then troubleshooting, and that is also a major input for me in creating videos. But the main drive is creating videos based on stuff that you can do yourself, running on your own platform.
Yeah, I think that also keeps you motivated. I mean, if you only put videos out that people want to see and you run dry on them, then you eventually stop doing
Exactly.
it. There's no, what's the difference then from working for a boss?
Exactly. Yeah. So I have a lot of the ideas for making videos, right? So what I do is mainly I have a OneNote in Joplin. Do you guys know Joplin? Maybe next video for
Yes.
Joplin, and then with Nextcloud. Yeah. So I have a Joplin note, and I have a specific notebook in there where I jot down my ideas of subjects I want to address in a video, or I want to create a video. And that list is only growing. It's growing every week. And so I have to pick and choose what I have limited time and what I want to create. But yeah, a lot of my videos are based on personal experience, something I use, something I want to understand, or something someone else can benefit from without being basically without costing someone a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm trying not to endorse software or infrastructure of companies which you then have to subscribe to and then have to pay for, and not being in control of the data.
I can relate to that. When you talk about you choose your video topic, how do you go about? Do you write it out? Do you create a script, or do you just put on a camera and start talking to it and see where it ends?
Yeah, I tried that approach, and just I in the beginning, especially when I did the dry runs, I thought, well, I have a lot of experience. I know the software because I set it up. I tinkered with it. I know the ins and outs. So I just start my camera and start talking. And within the first 20 seconds, I bottomed out. Right. And I was using too much fill words. I was repeating myself, and then I was just blabbing. And I thought, why are you blabbing? Because you know this stuff. So yeah. So what I do now is that's something I've learned is I like to have a small script with talking points. Right. And when I record the video, that script is open on my display as well, on my screen, just below the camera. So it's not a teleprompter, but because that's something maybe for when I'm growing larger. But for now, I just have my talking notes just below the camera. So when looking into the camera, I have my talking notes there as well, and making sure that I hit those points. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Alex. We can do that as well. We should do that as well.
It works, man. It works. Just a small text file exactly below the camera on your screen, and then when you're looking at the camera, you're hitting that those talking points as well, and you can't miss them. Yeah.
Yeah,
we should give that a go.
Yeah, I was just going to say the problem isn't the talking that much, but what are you really going to say? What do you want to convey to the listener?
And it doesn't work for me if I have a whole script on a teleprompter and I just have to read from it. It would not work for me, knowing myself, because I need to be I need to have those talking points, but I need to be free in telling what I think and going in a direction besides what the script is dedicating, because that feels very narrow for me. So that's why I have talking points, especially when I'm talking about software with technical specifications, because all those technical specifications, I cannot remember them by heart. So I have it in the note, and then I can tell, this is a software. You need 2 CPUs or 4 gigs of RAM or specifics. Yeah. That works very well. So you should try that. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely should.
And of course, don't fear to delete. Just record something. If you're not satisfied with it, delete it. Just redo it. Don't be afraid of deleting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to kill your babies, but if it's better for the story or better for the information you want to convey, please do.
Yeah, exactly. And that's every time sometimes I'm redoing my takes for like 5 or 6 times before I get that intro right for myself. That's something. And what I've learned as well is never assume that it will be perfect, because if you're going for that perfect video, that perfect intro, you will never finish it. You will never share it. You will never create no content. Sometimes good is good enough.
Exactly. Yeah. We just accept that we are too loud mouths, and that's it. Right. So we've come up with this intro and it works for us, and we just do it like that.
Yeah, because what was happening in the beginning when I was testing stuff, I was like, no, the light is not perfect and the audio is not perfect. I will not put out this video yet. Okay, maybe I will do another take and then try another version of OBS, or maybe let's do it. Every time I had a specific reason, telling myself the video is not perfect. So if it's not perfect, we are not going to put it out. Well, then you will never put something out.
There's a reason that I'm 3 episodes behind of this podcast.
Yeah.
Exactly that reason.
Yeah.
I want to do it better. And I started to publishing and then trying to do every recording, one thing better than the last one. I look at it and I say, well, the lighting was off. That one thing only will be my focus the next recording. Or the audio sounds too bland or too harsh, then that's the only thing I'm focusing on. And if you do that, then every time it gets 1% better. And in the end, if you look 15, 20, 30 videos later, then it's a pretty good thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're not there yet, but we're trying.
Yeah, and that's
folks out there. AJ is actually the one doing all the editing. So I'm just the lazy one. I just come up and talk and then I leave again.
yeah. Well, content is very much the tech. It's a small part of setting up, creating something, and actually putting it out on YouTube or sharing it using a podcast, right? And that's what I've learned very early. Don't try to make things perfect, because if you're going to try to do that, you're never going to create something. And maybe you will create your first video, and then the second one will take a year or somewhat, something like that, because you're trying to improve. Just put out something, get the feedback, and every time try to change little steps to making it better every time, because content is king and not the tech surrounding it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, talking about that tech, I see a pretty good microphone, not the cheapest one. If you look back where you started, did you start with all the goodies and the tech that you wanted? Or is it, like you said, I want to record something and put it out there and slowly change your tech accordingly?
Yeah, that the last one, right? So just start with something. The first thing I started with is I have a GoPro webcam, and I thought, well, if I do the intro on my GoPro webcam, it has a fairly okay microphone. Let's see how the audio sounds. So I recorded something, and I was listening back to it and thought, this is not the audio I want. And the reason for that is the GoPro, it has actually a pretty decent microphone, but the room I'm sitting in, it's not treated for sound, right? So there is a lot of echo here. So then I tried, all right, so I need a microphone, trying to read up on some topics, trying to see how other YouTube guys and gals are doing it. And then I came up with the idea, all right, so if I get a separate microphone and put it close to my mouth, then it will not pick up the echo from my room that much, right? Okay, how do I start doing that? I don't want to spend a fortune on it. So I just went to a web shop and just ordered the cheapest microphone there using a USB connection. And that was a 15 euro microphone with a 10 euro pole on it, a stand. And that was one of my first microphones I actually started to use. And that improved my audio a lot, right? So I'm out 25 euros and I have decent audio, which is not picking up a lot of noise and echo in my room. Of course, the audio could still be better, but eliminating that echo was one of the major parts in the beginning. Yeah. And then, gradually try to upgrade your stuff, of course, with the approval of the big boss in house.
Yeah. I
the chief finance officer.
Yes, indeed. Yes, the CFO, indeed.
I think we talked about this earlier on in one of the episodes, not only about audio video, but also about technology and automation. It's you can buy everything and you can make it big, but the problem starts that you don't do it, or that you what do you call it? That's the fear of doing itself. Like I asked about, if only I had the right equipment, if only I had the right camera, if only I had the right microphone. If that's the attitude you have, probably you don't put it out there.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
You will never be done.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, if I'm looking at the tech I'm using, right? So my microphone setup, it's fairly okay now. I'm satisfied with it, but still, I want to treat my room for sound isolation, sound deadening. So that's another project. Now I'm looking at my video. I'm still recording all of my YouTube videos using a Logitech Brio webcam. It's not the most ideal, and I would love to have a dedicated DSLR camera or one of the vlogging cameras with a lens and having that depth of field as well. But I'm not there yet, right? Because that's another investment of 600-700 euros you're looking at, and then the lens you need. And then I know myself, if I start buying that tech stuff, then I need the lens, then I need the stand, and then I need that special, you know how it goes. So for now, this is working perfectly fine. And again, the tech is not that important for getting your message out. If you have a camera, just start off with that. If you have a simple microphone setup, start up with that. Start putting out content, trying to get better. And every time, try to tweak some things and improve some little things. And eventually, the rest of the tech, it will come.
I agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I have lots of more questions. You probably as well, Alex, but we're running about an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going quick.
Yeah.
Perhaps we can do another one of this.
Sure.
Yeah, let's
in
do
the
another
future.
episode.
Yeah, sure. Glad to be back with you guys. Very nice. Yeah.
Nice. So where can people find you?
Well, they can find me, of course, on my YouTube channel, vikash.nl. You'll find it, or you can just go to www.vikash.nl and get to my website. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I'm not that. Let me put it another way. I'm not using social media that much. The reason is because I'm a very privacy-minded guy. A lot of my videos are privacy related, right? But LinkedIn it's for professional use.
Yep.
So you can just get on LinkedIn with me. You can follow me using the RSS feed on my website. So every time I put out a new article there, it will be in the RSS feed. And otherwise, just email me. My email address is out there as well, vikash@vikash.nl, and you'll get in touch with me.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're going to put some of that information in the description box below as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
So, any tips? Let's start with Alex, because I know he has a tip this week.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, I hope so. We had a lot of preparation time, so...
Well, you made my tip a topic.
That's true.
So I don't have a tip.
Well, let's see, what can we do? Did you see a great movie or something like that you want to bring to the attention of the audience?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
This is not rehearsed whatsoever.
We do everything scriptless.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even have my talking points with me now.
I have no idea. No, sorry.
Okay. Vikash, you then?
Yeah, actually, I do have a tip for entertainment, because I do like to watch a lot of movies and series and TV shows, and also listen to a lot of music. I like that. So if you're into cooking, if you like to fire up that grill, that barbecue in your garden and be busy with that, I am watching a very nice show at the moment. The name is Bear. The Bear. It's a show. It's not about live cooking. It's just a regular TV show you would expect. It's a little bit of a drama, but having and owning a restaurant and cooking in that restaurant is a very major topic for that show. So if you're into cooking and want to see how things are actually being run in a kitchen and how chaotic it can be, it's a very nice show to watch. Yeah.
Fortunately, I have no experience.
So,
yeah.
Well, and my tip, I'm going to think, we had it earlier about whole home audio systems, all room audio systems. If you haven't looked at it, take a look at Music Assistant. It's a sibling of Home Assistant that has the possibility to create a whole home audio system. You can group your HomePods, your other audio devices into groups, and then send out streams to it. I'm using it right now for podcasts. I use it for audio streams from radio. And in my office, I have a HomePod. In the bedroom, we have a HomePod with Siri disabled. And you can create a whole home audio system with that. So if you haven't looked at it, That would be my tip.
All right. Thanks. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Well, with that, Vikash, thanks for your time.
Thank you guys for having
and hope
me.
to see you soon again.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's make this a regular.
Yeah.
Very nice to be here.
I think it's pretty good.
All right.
So with that,
I'm Alex.
I'm AJ. See you next time.